What is going on, guys? It's your guy, the Hemi guy, and we got ourselves a little something today. So, we got ourselves a little I/O shield, so we're gonna cut ourselves out a little thing in the back of this case right here, and we got ourselves an ITX motherboard that supports 2nd and 3rd gen Intel cores. Good enough. DDR3 RAM, PCI slot that I'm gonna end up having to extend over to another side because the I/O is here, and this case is a BTX case, which meaning all the I/O's over here. Well, the I/O's over here, and the PCI slots are over here. And as far as the motherboard itself, I went with a ITX motherboard. What is this ITX motherboard going in? It's going in a Dell OPTIPLEX 755. Oh yeah, we going old school with the case. All just because I like the classic clamshell. And of course now, yeah, we got Matrix over here. This is what I normally play on. It's got an Intel Core i5 4690. It's also got a R9 Fury X. The Tri-X fan, the one that Nitro Sapphire produced. I got a bad boy in here. I wish I had the 8GB model because this thing is severely held back by the 4GB HBM, but the HBM memory is so much better than GDDR. Everybody wants to argue that because AMD wanted to drop this card like a hot tamale, even though these things are super freaking powerful. I'm able to play Cyberpunk 2077 with this daggum setup. Literally, I can. I can run Resident Evil 4 Remake. I can run all sorts of stuff. I can run PS2 games, Xbox games, GameCube games, Wii games, freaking 3DS games, Switch games. I can even run, well, almost PS3 games, but that's CPU bound, so without a better CPU, which of course, I'm going to be swapping that over to an AMD Ryzen, or I might be dabbling at the Xeons. Might be dabbling at the server Xeon. If I can find an MATX board that is good enough. I ordered this board from AliExpress for this Dell OPTIPLEX build because this is going to be just a regular build for my wife. Going to be doing some custom work to it and everything. Going to be following along with this build as well. This whole thing is going to have an entire video on my channel for it. And I'm also going to be doing some here and there on my TikTok as well. That is High Power Syndicate Garage if you're looking at the TikTok. And it is the Hemi Guy if you're looking for me on YouTube. Anyway, so I'm going to get that I/O and stuff cut out. I'm going to get this case and motherboard mocked up and together and see if there's any holes that are going to line up or if I'm going to have to make my own risers. I also have this other PC over here that's got the hard drive that's going to be going in the OPTIPLEX. A random power supply that I bought that's like 400 watts. I got a 550 watt XFS power supply in here. The motherboard is a gigabyte motherboard. It's got a Core i3 in there, you know, just a dual core. Nothing fancy, very, very low end. Probably going to be swapping that out for a Core i5 or an i7 before I end up selling it, because I am going to be putting that into a full ATX case with the power supply and a GPU, and I'm going to sell that off as a third setup once I actually get done using it for testing purposes and whatnot. That's why it's off in a box. And I'm using a Dell monitor that's going to be going with the Dell OPTIPLEX. I've got a little VGA to HDMI adapter for that one as well. But yeah, it's your boy the Hemi Guy. We got ourselves completely set up. I've got myself a very good Turtle Beach microphone. This right now is just my phone that I'm recording on. It's got a halfway decent camera, but it's a little jacked up. So, follow me on this dadgum build, and I will see you here in a second. Did some work to the daggum thing. Finally got the OPTIPLEX power supply back in. I've got the mini ITX board in here. And I have the rear I/O cut out and ready for the new plate. And the new plate in already. Yeah boy, yeah boy. Only thing left now is to reach over here and grab these things off. Wait for the low profile card to come in and get a PCIe riser that will not go over the CPU cooler but will go around it. Hopefully I can get one that can plug in and it will kind of sleeve its way around here over the top, somewhere around. probably going to be changing this cooler out for a low profile cooler from online somewhere. Not really a big fan of these push pin style ones, but it's an 1155 socket and that works for an 1155, so it's a cooler. I got some thermal paste. I gotta wait for the CPU to come in, but I've got the RAM, I've got the power supply, I've got the hard drive, I've got the fan for the system fan. I had to remount all that and redo that with a cooler master. So we got ourselves a cooler master. Hopefully that's going to be enough airflow to be able to keep everything kind of relatively cool. But the next idea is to get a low profile GT 1050 or something of that sort, roughly, to go in here ish. But I'm fixing to be getting an i5 2600K, although that's nowhere near as great as my Core i5 4690. Although I will say that the 4690 is not it's not overclockable. It's stuck at 3.4 gigahertz, whereas the 2600K i5 that's going in this one is going to be overclockable to 4.3 gigahertz. That is going to be quite the crushing power for such a small little daggum thing. And an AliExpress board. But, anywho, let's go ahead, put this bad boy on the ground. Let's plug her in. I still got to get an LED, of course, because definitely need to get some LEDs that will light up as soon as I press this button right here, arcade style button, because I didn't really like the click button, got all that removed. Hey, hey, hey! We have life, buddy! We have life! Now to just wait for the CPU to come in and see if this old bad boy will come to life and play some games. Hip hip hooray! I am happy for that one, because this project has been in the making for so friggin' long and so friggin' much. I have no idea how in the world it took this freaking long just to get this much done. But I will say that it is nice to finally have the sleeper Dell OPTIPLEX is officially, other than the CPU and the GPU, still kind of waiting for them to come in. And I'm going to have to order some new RAM, because that PNY stick has got to go with this Gigabyte board whenever I go to sell it, and the Core i3 that's in there. I may actually rob the cooler off of this one and pull that board back out and put it on there, because this one has the screw down type cooler. It's a little bit more rigid about things. But I have this extra power supply and this motherboard right here for sale. If anybody wants to give me about anywhere from $60 to $75 for that damn thing, it's a really good board. Can handle up to 64 gigabytes of RAM. Had it up to 24 gigabytes for a little minute, and it was running really well. Really love that RAM. But there we go. The sleeper Dell. It's finally done. Someone's gonna walk up and be like, "What's their e-waste right there?" Well, that's just some garbage. And then I pop the hood, and they'd be like, "Wait a minute, that ain't no OPTIPLEX. That's a gaming PC." Ain't daggum no 775 socket piece of trash, no daggum more. This thing is an 1155 socket ITX. You just need to get a riser to move this over, and this will be perfect. Yes. Anywho, hope you guys enjoyed all that. Fixing to edit this video together and maybe take a couple of shots of the OPTIPLEX just to kind of add in between and stuff like that. Anyway, this has been the Sleeper Dell OPTIPLEX Part 1. Tune in next time for whenever I get the CPU and the GPU, because that's gonna be fun. Well, that pretty much concludes the Dell OPTIPLEX build for now. This is gonna be a multi-part thing, and I'm pretty sure you're gonna realize that yes, you can build an affordable PC at home, even with just some junk e-waste parts, even an e-waste case for that matter, if you got some time, the tools, and just a little bit of patience. Because I just randomly shoved an ITX board into a BTX case and made it all work. Now, you're probably thinking, why in the world would I randomly just throw all this into an e-waste case and just do all this for practically nothing, right? You know, I could have just bought another case and threw everything together into a new case and whatnot, yada yada yada, whatever. But this case was laying around and I really didn't want to, throw it away, so I gave it a new life. I mean, yeah, a lot of cases are going to be unusable from the past because of their BTX format, because the way Intel pretty much made it for a while and then abandoned it. So there's going to be a lot of people out there that's probably going to be looking for something like this eventually. I'm just trying to repurpose what I have, and I hope y'all enjoyed the video. So, see you in part 2. The Hemi Guy, signing out.